Dead Space Remake gets a release date, pre-orders available now. EA has set the Dead Space Remake release date for January 27, 2023. This project was announced at EA Play 2021, where it was given a 2022 window of release. Back in March, however, developer Movie Studio announced a small Dead Space delay, shifting the game to 2023 to ensure that it had the time to properly build upon the expectations of fans. The January 27, 2023, release date was revealed on October 28, 2022, alongside the first official gameplay trailer. Dead Space Remake is one of the most anticipated video games that are releasing in 2023. The game is being made by Motive Studio and EA. It is a remake of the 2008 game Dead Space, which was highly successful and is considered to be one of the best horror games of all time. So the remake has some big shoes to fill if it wants to be at the level of its original version. The game is set to release on January 27, 2023. EA has opened its Dead Space Remake pre-order options up, meaning you can now secure various editions of the game ahead of launch. You'll want to act fast if you want the Dead Space Remake Collector's Edition, which includes a fully wearable replica of Isaac's helmet. If you click the link above, you'll also find more information on the Dead Space Remake price for all three editions. There's also a digital deluxe edition to consider via the Steam, PlayStation, and Xbox storefronts, which includes the base game and 5 exclusive cosmetics. The Dead Space Remake will be released on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. EA has confirmed that the game will not launch on PS4 or Xbox One, with Motive focused on leveraging new generation technology and the Frostbite engine to totally reimagine the experience. The studio is investing heavily in the visual fidelity and atmospheric audio of Dead Space, and working to expand the combat mechanics and increase the scale of the USG Ishimura. The ship is now a fully interconnected space, meaning that you can freely explore without encountering loading screens. The Dead Space Remake developer is EA Motive. The studio was founded by Electronic Arts in 2015, initially focusing its attention on the Star Wars universe. Motive collaborated with DICE on Star Wars Battlefront 2, leading production of the single-player campaign, before moving on to develop Star Wars Squadrons. Motive was also working on a new IP since its formation, codenamed Gaia, which the studio once teased as a highly ambitious, innovative new game that puts the power and creativity in your hands. Development of Gaia was cancelled in 2021, with Motive ultimately moving on to the Dead Space Remake and an untitled Iron Man game, which is one of our most anticipated upcoming Marvel games. The Dead Space Remake gameplay is survival horror at its finest. If you haven't played the 2008 original, you should expect a tense and atmospheric crawl through the hull of the USG Ishimura, a vast mining ship, overrun with hostile creatures called necromorphs. You play as Isaac Clarke, an engineer who is forced to board the Ishimura to repair the ship, locate his missing partner, and save his crew before it's too late. The thing is, Isaac isn't equipped to deal with the escalating terrors of the ship, and has to gather any weapons and resources that he can to survive. Something you should know about the necromorphs is that they aren't easily killed. These warped human figures must be strategically dismembered to stop them from coming after you. Using a new version of the iconic Dead Space plasma cutter, you'll be able to flay flesh and break bones, ripping enemies limb from limb until they stop moving. It's a horrifying and totally gratifying experience, as we learned in our Dead Space Remake gameplay preview where we went hands-on with the first 3 chapters of the game. Dead Space also punches up its stomach-churning combat with special abilities, as your engineer RIG can be outfitted with new powers such as stasis and kinesis, designed to help make an engineer's life easier. They have surprisingly good application for ripping necromorphs apart too. It's also worth mentioning Dead Space's stunning diegetic design, with all of menus and player information presented in-universe. Isaac's hit point meter is built into the spine of his suit. For example, while inventory and map management is holographically projected and handled in real time. This method of UX design was incredibly impressive in 2008, and that remains the case here in 2023. EA has set the Dead Space Remake release date for January 27, 2023. This project was announced at EA Play 2021, where it was given a 2022 window of release. Back in March, however, developer Movie Studio announced a small Dead Space delay, shifting the game to 2023 to ensure that it had the time to properly build upon the expectations of fans. The January 27, 2023, release date was revealed on October 28, 2022, alongside the first official gameplay trailer.